For you new folks, I am a no-code extra history major. So my topics are not delved with much depth. So every month we do a little 5 to 10 minute presentation, trying to get bits and pieces of ham radio. And our November Ham Morsels is us as new officers wishing you all a Merry Christmas. And 200 years later now, old traditions, new traditions, reinvented traditions like this one. My apologies go to Clement Clark Moore, who in 1823 was the original author of A Visit from St. Nicholas, also known as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And I have to give credit to Gary, who just changed his call sign to K4AAQ, and I'm not sure if I even...
KN4AQ.
Yeah, he's changed it to K4AAQ. So I have not updated the slides since then. And I have his permission to edit his poem, A Ham's Christmas. So, 'tis the net before Christmas, and listening on 2 meters, not a signal was keen, the N0XLF repeater. The antennas reached up from the tower quite high to catch the weak signals that bounced from the sky. The children, well, it must be the technicians, took their HTs to bed to dream of the day they'd be extras instead. And you are. So I put on my headphones and searched for a soda. Bob, Joyce, even Steve with a goat. It's TRD on a POTA. Now, Tricia, there's a CQ I would note. We had a nice QSO, as QSOs would go, a new park with a late shift. The pileup will grow. My cell phone went ding. Whose text is out there? Well, Michael's doing Parks on the Air. He's calling CQ. It's K0EZE. It's a rare park, and it's just for me. Okay, settle down. There's more to hear. DX is out there somewhere. So I tuned around 40 in search of Bill. Imagine, South Africa. Ah, what a thrill. There I was barefoot, 100 watts in a wire, clear as a bell, like the sound of a choir. When all of a sudden the meter was pegged. Oh, so much noise. Oh no, who would know what was said? Then I ran to the window and stared up at the sky to see what would generate RF that high. It was way in the distance, but the moon made it gleam, a tiny flying sleigh with a 6-element beam, and a little old driver who looked slightly grim. So I thought for a moment it might be our Elmer, Jim. His knowledge of radio is next to the top. I'll never know half of what he has forgot. But no, it was Santa, the Santa of hams, on a mission this Christmas to clean up the bands. He circled the house, then stopped in his track and slid down the coax right into my shack. He cleared off the shack desk of paper and parts and filled out my late QSL cards for a start. He ran copper braid, then took a steel rod and pounded, then said with a grin, ho, 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 now this station's grounded. He tightened loose fittings, resoldered connections, cranked down modulation, and installed lightning protection. Then he reached really deep in the bag that he brought, and he pulled out a box. A new Riggs, what I thought. A new Kenwood, a ICOM, a Yaesu for me, an Elecraft, Tentec, or Flex. Could it be? If he thought I'd been bad, it just might be QRP. He hooked it all up and in record time quickly worked 100 countries. And yes, they were mine. I should have been happy it was my call that he sent, but the cards and the postage would cost a month's rent. Then he grabbed his HT, looked me straight in the eye, punched a code on the pad. He was gone. No goodbye. I ran back to the station. The pileup was big, but a card from St. Nick would be worth my new rig. Too late, for his final came over the air. It was copied all over. It was heard everywhere. But up in the sky, the ham Santa would call to the hams of Tri-Lakes, good DX, and Merry Christmas to all. That's how I was.